I'm here.
Yes.
I'm actually doing a class at Yale tomorrow.
Yeah, I heard about that. Why? What is that? What kind of class?
Physics.
Professor Jen is doing a physics class. That would be good. You go in there knowing nothing and just try your BS that you try on all of us
so
here.
Like childlike physics. If you throw a ball, gravity will pull it to the ground.
And they're all sitting there with notebooks going, wait a minute, what is he talking about? Of course it will.
It's some comedy class. I did that Carlin tribute at the 92nd Street Y, and the same guy that runs that does something at Yale. And it was, I guess they're performers or whatever, and they just talk about comedy, modern day comedy.
Really?
Are you the only one?
Who does it? No.
No, are you the one who's going to speak about comedy? Are they going to have other comedians?
No, yeah, I think it's just me. It's just like a one class. It's their last class.
What is the class called?
I don't know. Actually, it's not a big one. It's just,
wow, you don't know what the class is called?
Why would I? Hey, high class. I don't know. I'm not going to be prepared. I'm just
something like African American Studies.
Oh,
where you walk in there to just, maybe a hostile environment.
Nah, I'm not worried about it. I just talk about comedy. I talk about that forever. It's fun.
Are you going to have a podium?
I don't know, actually. I'm going to have a couple of notes jotted, but I'm not going to give a long speech. Lenny Bruce, transcendent. Did he? Yeah, really? Say. Everybody knows everything already.
If you did that, if you went in prepared with a big speech and just gave it like an hour and a half speech.
Oh, just going on and on. Write the most boring drivel you could possibly find, and then just bore the class to death.
Like a long run-on sentence, no capital letters, no paragraphs.
And don't even be funny. Just take yourself way too serious.
And the art of comedy has to be performed with vigor. I found...
Slowly take a sip of water. Pour it from a big pitcher.
And at the end...
While they just wait.
I'll be taking questions... And then, like, after 2 hours, when there's, like, 5 minutes left, just go for questions. So what got you into comedy? I always felt funny. I want to thank you all for having me. I'm going to give you the worst class you've ever had.
Bore fest.
It's going to be a snoozeroo.
You look at the audience, there's just one African dude left.
There might only be like 10 people. It's a small, I don't think it's a giant, it's a small class. It's not like a giant...
little get-together.
Yeah, but it's Yale, so of course I want to do it, because it's Yale. I mean...
good for your resume.
You're going to get a sweatshirt?
I hope so. Yeah, no, taught at Yale.
Will you be, will you be given an honorary doctorate?
Where's my cap with the little tassel? I want to throw it in the air.
I wanted that from, like, my high school. Like I remember when I first came back to New York, one thing we were trying to do was get me my high school diploma from John H. Glenn School in
You don't have a
Elwood.
diploma?
No.
You didn't graduate high school?
Nope.
God, this country's amazing.
And I have no equivalency diploma either.
This is just an amazing country.
Nothing.
You're sitting here with a bandana on your head with new hair.
New hair growing in.
And you didn't do anything you were supposed to.
Nothing. I did everything I wasn't supposed to do. And I got a crappy job. I depended too much on a rock band with nothing to fall back on. I did everything I wasn't supposed to do.
You're a funny bum.
Yeah, I am. You're absolutely right. And my lifestyle just proves that too. I've been called. I was like a college student that won the lotto, like that type of lifestyle, where I just have no idea what I should be doing. So I just do things for fun. I buy toys.
You're just an Adam Sandler film.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I never graduated high school because it was mostly because of gym. I just didn't go to the gym class.
Why? Gym's the best.
But it wasn't.
Why?
It sucked. It was the class that I cut out the most so I could smoke weed. But I also cut out of social studies. And then I would cut out one day and then 2 days in a row. And then you can't go back now. So you find yourself a week in, 2 weeks in, not having gone to the class. And now you avoid the whole side of the building. Because if you bump into the teachers, you'll be like, where have you been? Why haven't you been in class? And then you finally... it's like finally paying a ticket that suspended your license and getting everything in order. You finally make your peace with the teacher and this one and go, okay, you can make up the class still, just come in. And I would screw it up again. I would be outside smoking weed with my friends, who, by the way, would cut out of one class, come out, smoke weed with me. and then go to the rest of the day. And then the other friends would come out and smoke weed with me, and then they'd go. And I was out there, though, for every
You were
class.
the gatekeeper.
Like, I was like, how did you graduate? I was always smoking pot with you. It's like, yeah, but I went to class. You were always smoking pot with me and all of our other friends because you never went to any of the classes. And that's why I never graduated.
You know how easy it is to graduate high school?
I know. I retards graduated.
I graduated high school.
Literal
Case in
retard.
point.
I said it once, and then I went, wait, and then I said it again.
I'm Brody.
One time my dad went to a parent-teacher conference at my high school, and I was really hoping he wasn't going to hit all the classes because there was a science class that I had actually never been to.
Oh, we all
So, so we
Sweating.
walk over to the science class, we sit down, and the teacher's looking at me like, I don't know who you are. And I had to explain to my father that I never showed up for the class in the first place.
I don't know who you are. I think there was a problem at registration. I never really signed up for that class. I just didn't. I didn't feel like going. I was doing really good in school, and my brother was such a bad influence. He got busted for weed in junior high. He was one of the first people because we were from a really white neighborhood. And real middle classy kind of neighborhood, and he got busted for pot in junior high, and it was a big deal. Like people were like, "Oh my God, did you hear Joe Kumi got busted for marijuana?" And I was coming up from the elementary school, and when I got into junior high, all the teachers took me aside and go, and they were really like, "We really hope you're not like your brother." They remembered it was like legend that he was busted for weed. Like, we really hope, and I wasn't. I was a science geek. I loved, like chemistry sets and microscopes and telescopes and things. So I was doing really well until I went out to California, and my mother shipped my brother out to California because he was being unruly and needed a father figure. I just went out because I kind of wanted to live with my dad for a while. So he comes out there and buys weed, and stashes it in my Estes model rockets. That's how much of a geek I was. I was into model rocketry.
They didn't even do anything. It was just a model of a rocket.
No, it was a model rocket, and they put you put the little engines in there and the igniters, and you send them up.
When people ask why you were putting a little mushroom cap on the end and then squatting over it and lighting it.
Hey, give me that D engine model. Oh, that feels good. No, I never used them in that fashion. I would. It was always a great treat when they would go up in the air and the nose cone popped off and the parachute came out and it drifted slowly back to Earth to be used again and again. I was into model rocketry, so I had all these rockets in my room, and in the nose cones, my brother would hide his weed. So one day, I'm going through one of my rockets and I find a joint, and I was thinking, I hear you don't get stoned the first time you smoke first. I go, and I kind of, Joe always seems kind of in a good mood when he smokes this stuff, so let me give it a try. I didn't want to smoke with him because I didn't want it to be a big thing. Like, here's the big brother and the little brother smoking pot together. I didn't want to smoke with anyone else. So I went down into this pump house in a riverbed. It was like this tin shack that was maybe 4x4 with a big valve in it. That was it. And it was pitch black. So I went in there, I lit up, and smoked the whole joint. And I was sitting down in the pitch blackness, so I really couldn't tell that I was getting high, but apparently I was, because when I opened the door, it was like when the Wizard of Oz changed to color. It went from pitch blackness, and I just went, wow! Like, I end up in this bamboo riverbed field, just looking up at the clouds and sky and just saying, I've got to get into this pot thing. And
Pot was a great thing. I'm on all the drugs. I mean, I don't miss the heavy ones.
Yeah.
But pot. I remember getting so high one day. I saw
dude, and you got to tell people, dude, I am so high.
First of all, I pretended I thought it was an airplane. I was flying down the street with wings. I was going,
a Dumbo jet. Right,
yeah,
a little bit.
And then I saw a Popeye on my feet as I was walking.
What the hell kind of pot were you
I thought it was
smoking?
a Popeye cartoon. The left foot was Popeye, and the right one was olive oil. And because they. That's all I was doing as I was walking down the street.
Oh, you're pretty stoned there, Bobsky. Have another joint.
How do you know Popeye's voice?
Well, blow me down. I'm pretty high, Bluto. Oh, Bobby's pretty stoned. You want to smoke some hashish?
Yeah, you get like so high that you have to tell everyone how high you are, but they're also high, so it didn't matter. I just decided where like pot replaced everything. Like pot ruined me as far as my education went, because I went from science geek, really not enjoying going to school. I didn't like getting up early. I still don't. But I went to classes. I did very well. The teachers liked me. I was creative, things like that, to just a lazy lump of crap that had no ambition to do anything but find and smoke more pot. When I told my brother that I found a joint and smoked it, he was so excited that he had someone to smoke with that he's right away, we had to like smoke one together, and then it became like, you know, now me and Joe were smoking weed the whole time.
Did you become all-time high buddies? Remember you used to burn each other with a joint?
No!
You never did that?
We're brothers. We're not burning each other with joints, although I hooked up with his friends. All of my friends got ditched, and I hooked up with his friends who were all the stoner kids. So I, was now getting stoned, hanging out with the stoner kids. I got kicked out of my school and sent to what they called continuation school, which that we called it con school because it sounded rough and tumble, con school. And all they made you do was sit there and do dittos. Like they handed out dittos, and they were like
the hell's a ditto?
5th grade dittos.
What's a ditto?
Ditto?
A ditto is a thing with the printed blue ink on it.
I'll tell you what a ditto
It's a
is.
question.
If you're standing next to a retarded guy and he says, I'm retarded, you would go, ditto.
Well, I don't know what the hell is a ditto?
It's what you use on your wife if you have a cold. No?
Wow.
A ditto.
Hang on 1 second.
That's funny.
What's a ditto?
A ditto is it's a piece of paper. In the old days, before printers and stuff like that, they had a ditto machine, a mimeograph machine.
Yeah,
And it
Jim, why
printed
would I know that?
It printed the blue.
Why does everyone know that?
Who knows? Not everybody
10 years
knows
old.
ditto.
Who doesn't know what a
Dummy.
ditto is?
A ditto machine?
Yes.
Yes, Bob. When I was in high school, I
You ever get
remember
your test,
ditto machine.
when you
ditto
got your
papers.
test and you
I
smelled
never-
it?
no.
You ever smell your test when you used to get
No,
it? It was
I was
the
in
blue
juvie hall
ink.
at 13. I didn't go to
That's
school.
why you were smelling
Everyone
other things.
knows dittos.
Oh, I don't know.
I didn't.
dittos.
I swear to God, I don't. I'll admit it. What are you going to do?
It's blue ink that was on white paper, and it smelled of like alcoholish
Never.
kind of thing.
Never.
And the letters were always a little smeary.
Never.
No?
Never seen it.
I've never heard of somebody that didn't know a ditto.
I never have either, to be honest with you.
The mimeograph. It was like that blue inky stuff that they put on a drum, and the
don't
drum
remember that.
spun. It was an oldie style printer.
Don't remember that.
Wow.
I don't remember that. I mean,
Well,
I missed. I
it's all
literally.
dittos.
I missed from 6th, 7th grade until maybe 10th grade.
But you should have gotten those in like 3rd grade.
I don't
They
remember
handed
a
out dittos, and it was what tests were on. What were tests on when you were in like 3rd grade?
I had the
What
little.
were
I'll
assignments
tell you
on?
what. Well, we had tests, but then we had that yearly thing where you do little X's.
Oh,
A,
what?
B, or
You
C.
gotta fill out the
Scantron sheet.
Yeah, Scantron.
Scantron.
I didn't have a ditto. sheet.
Scantron has become aware. That's a ditto right there. See, it's that bluish ink, and it
I don't
really
remember that.
it smelled cool. Everyone smelled them when they got them.
I don't remember it.
You never remember take one and pass it back?
No, but I'm just no. I never. I remember that. I remember doing that in my life.
Well, what
but I
did you
don't
do it
remember-
with?
Ditto smell like
Paper.
magic marker.
Things.
Take one and pass it back. We're in a daisy chain here.
Swallow a little and then spit the rest into your friend's mouth.
Take the cracker if you win.
Nah, I don't remember ditto machine.
Well, anyway, it was all dittos, which means the teachers never put any work into the assignments because they were all losers too. That's how they ended up at this continuation school. Most of them were these old surfer hippie dudes, and they would hand out these dittos, and the second you finished them, you could leave. And they were 5th grade, dittos. They were horrible.
We
Like, you
stopped
didn't
saying
learn anything
dittos.
there.
Now it's bugging me. The
Ditto,
word,
ditto, ditto.
The word ditto.
ditto. Ditto.
Ditto.
Ditto. Ditto. Now it doesn't sound like a word anymore.
No,
I've said it too many
ditto.
times.
Ditto. Ditto.
That's
Bugs me.
a stupid word.
What you
Ditto.
use on your wife if you have a cold? It's going to make me laugh all day.
Ditto.
A ditto.
But that was my experience in continuation school, and that was because of the weed. I had to go there, and then I dropped out, came back to New York, tried school again, dropped out, just couldn't do it. The dean of boys, Pete Polina, he told me to leave. He asked me to leave school for a year, for the rest of the year, get a job, find out what it's really like to be out there, and then you come back next year and finish school. And me being out in the real world, I was like, wait a minute, I'm making money. I could buy cigarettes, whiskey for the weekends. I could do whatever I want. I could smoke pot, watch TV all day, and not get in trouble for it. Next year rolled around, I'm like, yeah, I'm giving this a try. A week later, I was like, see ya. I've been in the real world, people. There's a whole world out there, kids. Let me tell you about it. That's who I was in school.
I did the same thing.
Did
They
you
sent
graduate,
me
Bobby? Did you graduate?
I actually went back. Because I got sober, but I went out and they told me, you know what, just take off for the rest of the year because I beat up the gym teacher. I caught
Lesbian.
him. I caught him trying to beat up my friend in the hallway. Like he was messing with him. So then I pulled up and there was two of us. And we just started pushing him around.
The gym teacher. Aren't they usually former somethings?
Yeah, he was a big guy.
Players or
he was a big guy.
Yeah.
But the kid, but he when there was two of us, he kind of backed down, and we got caught by the assistant principal, who was definitely a dyke, big lesbian lady, and the principal was this hot MILF with just a beehive haircut, which she was a moron.
Penthouse video school did you go to?
Exactly.
But we went in.
The lesbian throws down the MILF, and Bob gets a spanking and a strap-on lesson. Lessons for Robert.
Laying on dittos.
I
Ditto.
hate that word.
Why? Get your face. You have ditto ink on your cheeks.
Ditto ink all over you.
Yes.
But I went back. I left school. They said just leave for the rest. They gave me a stack of papers, one paragraph, 5 questions about that one paragraph.
Wow.
And she goes, if you do all these, hand them in the day before the last day of school, and we'll just move you to this next
I
grade.
never got that. I always got, you have to finish everything you missed, idiot.
Nope.
Everyone else got these deals. They were able to cut deals like the DA was running the school. Can I cut a deal? Yeah, all right. If you cop to not going to social studies, we'll give you math. All right.
Yeah.
Deal.
I cut a deal. Again, I went back in. They said you can come to class 2 classes, and then you can leave and go work. So I did that for 9th grade, and then I worked my way back into the regular rooms, and then I graduated with my class. And then I got a scholarship to a community college for art.
Community college scholarship. Stop
That was
it.
the worst.
Was that
That's the
written in
worst.
crayon?
It was like $1,500, and then I got financial aid from the state. And another $1,500 I just slammed in my pocket, bought no books with.
Taking the money. Good deal.
I came in the next day with a brand new briefcase and a trench coat.
And rich. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. Opie and Anthony Show.